Hi guys, Eric Pathy here at PickDawgz.com. We're going to get right to your complimentary selection. It is the same complimentary selection as yesterday. The Washington Nationals plus 40 cents. Now here is the why, and then we're going to get on with Pathy's pep talk. Philadelphia Phillies had won 4 games in a row. I said had won 4 games in a row, but then that gets stopped because of a travel day. They go back to Philadelphia. They start a new series against Washington that did not have a travel day, as you won the complimentary selection yesterday. What do you do in this situation when one team is coming off a win and another team is coming off a win, but one team is coming off a consecutive win and one team is coming off a rest day? You take the dog. With an absence of information, if you did not head over to PickDawgz.com, you take the dog. If you didn't click on the Dime Club link, you take the dog. So, very short into this video, 1 minute. Washington Nationals plus 40 cents is your complimentary selection. Now, we're going to move on to what I call Pathy's pep talk. Now, it's not the pep talk that I talked about on the video with private one-on-one mentoring. This is just the part where I'm talking. You already got the complimentary selection. So if you're just here for the complimentary selection, you can now shut the computer and go on with your day. What is one of the things that is unforgivable if you're a sports bettor betting baseball trying to make money? Well, you heard the short yesterday where I said you're a sucker if you bet favorites. What is worse than that? I'm going to tell you what's worse than that. It's converting an underdog to a favorite. So let me explain. And I don't want to keep this video too long. I had someone reach out to me today, and they did what we call the betting flex. Not bad for 52. Well, not bad. The betting flex. You know what the betting flex is? The betting flex is you go, hey, Eric, how are you? Blah, blah. And then you immediately screenshot me your winning tickets as if I'm supposed to be impressed, especially the ones that are already over. That you can't tell me you had, it's over. So it's like, who cares? Like Mitch used to say, talking about games in the comment section that are already over aren't going to help anybody make any money. So he sent me what I call the big flex, and it was the Washington Nationals. And he showed me 3 bets of which he had $100,000 on each game to win, which means automatically I know he's a net losing bettor. And the reason why I know that is no bookmaker is going to let you bet $100,000 on a baseball game, plus double down or triple down on that same game unless you have a negative balance you're trying to work off, or you're so far down long term that it doesn't matter, right? So what I said to this person, and there's a backstory to how this conversation went, but I'm doing it in reverse on what not to do. He showed me the Washington Nationals. He had not watched yesterday's video. He probably doesn't watch any of my videos. And he bet $100,000 to win 110 on the Washington Nationals. Great. Then he bet, and I have it right here, he bet first 5 innings plus a half minus 150. Plus a half minus 150. Washington Nationals plus a half minus 150. So he risked $150,000 to win 100 plus a half. Then he bet it again plus 1.5 minus 145 for the game. Okay? So he takes and he risks $150,000 to win $100,000 and $145,000 to win $100,000. And the only bet that I would have taken would have been the $100,000 to win 110. So why do I say the flex? I was supposed to be impressed by these wagers. This is his screenshot. I'm going to see if I can get this in focus. If you guys can see that. So this one at the bottom was 145. And this one at the top was 150. And what I basically said to him is, well, here's a link to my videos. I'd recommend watching them. You can't win if you lay a price like that in any baseball game. So I know, look, you can't win betting favorites in baseball, period. Anybody can go in the comments and say no and blah, blah. You're wrong. You can't win. You may get lucky and have a winning season, and you're going to get a very small return on your money. You're not going to get anything substantial. But to take an underdog and turn it into a favorite with the plus half and the plus 1.5 is criminal. You are your bookmaker's best friend if you do that. Now, a lot of whales, like I said, for anyone watching this video, I deal with the biggest betting syndicates in the world: David Miller, Micah Smith, the sharpest handicappers in the world, Big Al McMorty, and the like. Underground cappers that aren't available to the general public that provide me with information. For instance, in half times in football, money line systems in football. But with that being said, I've been surrounded by the biggest sports bettors for 39 years. I've been flown on private jets. I've watched guys bet $1 million in cash on the Super Bowl. Again, I've been doing this this is my 39th September. Nothing impresses me. So when you text me, you're not going to impress me with the flex, but you want the talk to go with the walk. And this is what I usually say. Is that the gentleman made a statement. He said, I bought a package from Costi like a year or 2 years ago. I paid it. I said, oh, how much did you pay him? And $1,000. And he didn't do any good. And my response to him was, and this is a message to you guys that inquire, if you didn't share your bankroll and what your risk was on capital, he couldn't put you in the appropriate situation. I, for one, have 4 different products: $1,000 a month, $4,000 a month, $20,000 a month, and then Big Al's All Access. All those have multi-month discounts and annual discounts, and your cost basis can come down. But what is the first question that I ask you when you call me? What is your wagering capital? What you bet per game doesn't matter. This whole $100,000 a game is absolutely less than meaningless if you want to be a long-term successful bettor, because I know and you know if somebody's betting $100,000 a game in a credit account, they are certainly not betting 1% of their bankroll. Think about that. You would literally have to have $1 million weekly credit line to bet $100,000 per game to line up with what a professional does. And the second you go and you're risking 150 or 145, you're going to 1.5% or 1.45%. You've blown out the money management system. So, for all of you watching this video, whether it's any of my products or any of the products at PickDawgz, purchase the products based on your wagering bankroll, not what you're betting per game before you call. If you're working with someone like me, I'm going to be your money manager, which is more important than anything else. Games without the money management don't matter. So again, you can send me text and flex all day long, but if you're betting $100,000 a game in this time of year, your bookmaker absolutely loves you. Washington Nationals is your complimentary selection. Good day and good luck.